You've been tired for a long time. Not the kind of tired that sleep fixes, the kind that's been living in your chest for years, the kind that makes simple things feel heavy, the kind that other people don't seem to have. And you've probably told yourself it's just you, that you're weak or sensitive or not trying hard enough. What if it's not any of those things? What if your nervous system has been in survival mode and nobody told you? I want to I want to tell you what survival mode actually looks like, not the dramatic version, the quiet one. It looks like being always slightly on edge even when nothing is wrong, waiting for the thing that goes wrong. It looks like struggling to relax, properly relax, because some part of you doesn't feel safe enough to fully let go. It it looks like emotional exhaustion that you can't explain to anyone because on paper your life is fine. It looks like snapping at things that shouldn't matter, disconnecting from people that you love, feeling present on the outside and completely hollow on the inside. Sound familiar? That's that's not weakness. That's what a nervous system does when it sounds like when it's been on alert for way too long. Here's what I want you to understand. Survival mode isn't a personality flaw. It's a response. Your nervous system learned at some point, maybe in childhood, maybe in a relationship, maybe in a job, that it needed to stay alert. The safety wasn't guaranteed, that it was better to be ready than to be caught off guard. So it stayed ready. Even after the danger passed, even when things got better, it kept the alarm on because that's what it knew. You weren't broken. You were adapted. But here's the part that changes things, and an adaptation you you no longer need is just it's just a cage. And living in that cage, it has a cost. It costs you presence, the ability to actually be in a moment instead of scanning for threats. It costs you joy, real joy, not performed happiness, not not relief, the quiet kind that just settles. It it costs you connection because when you're always braced for impact, you can't fully open up to another person. You're too busy protecting yourself. And and the cruelest part, you've probably been blaming yourself for all of it, for for not being more present, more joyful, more open, not realizing your system was doing the only thing it knew how to do. So, what happens when you finally understand what's actually been running the show? You start to see yourself differently, not as someone who can't cope, but as someone who has been coping with far more than most people know. The tiredness makes sense, the irritability makes sense, the way you withdraw sometimes, that makes sense too. You weren't failing at life. You were running on a system that was never meant to go on this long. And somewhere in you there is a version that remembers what it felt like being the alarm switched on before the guard went up, before you had to be so careful. That version of you, that version of you isn't gone. And the path back to them starts with one thing: understanding that you were never the problem. You You can't think your way out of survival mode. You have to feel your way through slowly with patience you probably haven't given yourself before. It starts noticing when your body tenses, when your breath gets shallow, when you're bracing for something that is coming. And instead of pushing through, just pausing, breathing, telling yourself, I'm safe right now. Not forever, just right now. You weren't falling apart. You were finally stopping low enough to feel everything you've been surviving.